Pushing off my sneakers to the ground, I do not jump, I move the earth down. Bear witness to the genius of my sound. Born at the bottom, but now I'm knocked down. Look, I'ma call it swagger. I slip through time zones like a cloak and dagger. Mad rubies on my chain, you can see your pain bubbling, blood vein. Your girl's in my A because she's sipping on my champagne. That's right, 6 figures in my back pocket, and that's right, 1 million in my safe deposit. That's right, I'm trill all day, on my way to.
Just congratulations to Boston College. Thoroughly outplayed us. I'm disappointed in our performance. We haven't done that very much this year at all. But I don't really understand. Like, we defensively, I thought we were okay, but we didn't get any defensive rebounds, and held them to 38% shooting, giving up 9 offensive rebounds, and then 40 points out of that. We just weren't quite ready. Ultimately, that's on me. I don't really understand it. I thought we were, but we looked a half step slow and lacked urgency. And then I thought, when we got behind, that's probably not great for us. We haven't been behind a lot this year. And we probably panicked a little bit, and we had a hard time. And again, give Boston College a lot of credit. I thought they played with great confidence, and Jaden Zachary was terrific. Post is obviously an outstanding player, so they can spread you out. Claudell Harris made some threes. I just thought that they played with a lot of confidence and swagger, and very free and loose, and for whatever reason, we did not. Questions for us?
Any questions, guys? There you go.
Hey, for PJ and Joe, Coach just mentioned a lack of juice, lack of energy. Did you guys feel that at all coming into this game? Was that a surprise? What do you kind of prescribe that to?
No, I mean, excuse me. In warm-ups, we thought we looked and felt great, had a good energy to us, and I don't know if it was just got popped in the mouth and didn't recover, or it was not in there in the first place. But I'll tell you what, I mean, just for 40 minutes, they controlled it, and it's a shame.
Yeah, would kind of agree. The coaches did a great job of getting us ready for this game. Coach gave us a great speech last night about being ready for things like this and coming into tournaments like this, and just trying to go out there, and we just didn't have it for whatever reason. And it's not on the coaches; it's on the players. Fortunately for us, we've had a great season so far. So hopefully we'll get another chance. But as a group, as players, we got to move forward and be better.
Okay. Gentleman in the 5th row.
Toby Corson with the Tiger. You guys got out-rebounded by 16 boards tonight, and Joe led the team in rebounds. What was the struggles that you guys had down low grabbing those boards?
Boston College, they play hard. Bunch of tough kids. That's how they've always been. My 5 years in this league, it seems like every single time you play Boston College, they're going to just be tough. And, no matter what the score is, no matter where you're playing them, when they're playing them, it's just, like I said, a bunch of tough kids. And, again, it goes back to us just being out-toughed. And as players, we just got to be better.
I see hell happened last night. You're sitting here listening to the coach talk about the fact that his team didn't have the juice or whatever. I mean, this is the ACC tournament. What the hell happened, Jason?
Yeah, they played like ass. That's what happened, man. And I get it, man. People's gonna be pissed off and upset, man.
Yes, that was a shitty.
They're gonna all point at Brownell, man. But you know what? There is a bunch of veteran players on this team, and every one of them needs to look in the mirror and take some responsibility because they all played like ass last night. All of them. The guard made one shot in the second half. One shot. Nobody's crashing the boards, man. Especially the guards, man. The guard rebounding was terrible. Defensively, they were terrible. Chase Hunter's 0 for 10. Gerard hits 3 balls, but they're all in the first half.
Yeah.
I mean, it was just an abysmal performance all the way around.
Yes, it was. And like you said, we are getting some comments in here. Y'all's just have to keep his job. That game last night was not on the coaching staff. The coaches can't always, give the energy or whatever the team needs. So I just think, right to the time Ryan days and the players are always getting hyped up because the uniforms that they wear. And Dad comes in and changes that up. So it's the same thing. Guys like Hall and Gerard and Hunter, they have to, provide some type of leadership, and that was I seen last night.
Oh, that was just it was embarrassing, man. That I've not seen. I've watched most every game this year. There's been a handful that I've missed. I've watched most every one. That is by far the worst effort from that group I've seen all season. Even when they've lost, they've been competitive. They weren't even competitive last night.
No, that game was out of hand early on, and the Tigers never in. And so that, and let's see. I agree. You have arguably the most talented roster that you have had, and so it truly is embarrassing that you can't get fired up to play in the ACC tournament.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to believe, man. And again, I get it. Brownell's going to get all the blame. That's the way this fan base is, anyways. The players never take none of the responsibility, or are never shouldered with any of the responsibility. I heard them take responsibility last night. But at a certain point, man, as a coach, you can only do so much, man. You can't bring the juice for them. You can't bring the energy for them. You can only push so many buttons. At a certain point, the players got to take responsibility and go out and produce and perform. And they, Jack Clark was getting burned last night. How many times have we said that all
Yeah.
year? I mean, he was getting burned. He got toasted at times. I've not said that one time all single season.
No, there was just something last night that the Tigers just didn't show up, and sad to say that in their 70, I think is 70 appearances in the ACC tournament, they have gone, on and done 48 times.
I believe it's 49 out of 71.
Uh,
49 out of 71. 49 times in the 71-year history of the ACC tournament, Clemson has gone one and done.
Yeah. So, to say this is, some shocking thing that happened is just ignoring history. The fact is, Clemson doesn't, do well in the tournament.
They didn't, and how many times do we have to see PJ Hall keep picking up silly fouls, man? He's got 2 fouls last night, and he's swiping at a ball he's never going to get. It's just not playing smart, man. And when they got down 18-9 last night, it almost felt like it was 28-9, 38-9. You just knew that they were about to get run out the building. And I'm surprised that it took as long as it did for PC to push the lead to 20.
Yeah, I agree. The idea that this team had their NCAA side locked up, and so they didn't have as much to play for is absolutely insanity. This was their chance. This was their time to step up and really make a run. And the leadership let them down.
Yeah, I agree with that 100%. There was a lot to play for last night. I don't care that you've already got the spot locked up, man. You're playing for maybe you could possibly move up a seed or a seed line if you win a game or two. Heck, this team's shown they're capable of playing with anybody in the league. Heck, you can possibly win the thing, man. And Clemson's never won an ACC tournament. Just like we talked about a minute ago, 49 out of 71 times they won and done. So that was one of the first things I got asked last night. Did them having a tournament spot already locked up play a factor? I have no idea, man. But if it did, that is a bad sign of the kind of leadership you've got on that team.
Well, I'll say this, that let me see if I can find the actual code here. Yeah. So Ryan says he talked to the team the night, I guess Wednesday, they are playing loose and free since they already locked up the NCAA tournament. Obviously, BC is in a different spot. So,
And
yeah.
BC played like they were fighting for tournament life, and their only shot at making that tournament is winning. And and when Clemson played Boston College earlier this season, that was a game I was at. BC only had like 6 guys available, post didn't play, so it was a completely different roster. That was a very good. That was a very, very good effort from Boston College last night. That's getting overlooked a little bit in all this. Not that you needed a big time effort to beat that Clemson team last night, but man, they got 2 standout performances from those 2 guards. Man, I forgot Harris. I think his last name was Harris. Absolutely torched Clemson, and it didn't matter who was guarding him. Man, he just lit them up 27 points. And then the other one had 22. So Clemson's gonna go as far as their guard play takes them, and I don't, I'm not a big fan of their guard play. Chase Hunter's taking a step back defensively. He's a streaky shooter, and he's been far more cold than hot this season. Too bad they can't play in Atlanta every night. He'd be set the world on fire. Gerard's a great shooter, man, but he's a spot-up shooter. He can't play defense. He doesn't move around well without the ball in his hands. And this is a guard's game. College basketball is guard-driven, and I just don't see Clemson having the guard play to do much once they get there next week.
No, I like this on Gerard. He is a head case.
Yeah, he
seriously, like, you look at him on the floor, he is a head case, because he is either over there jumping up and down, or he's hanging his head, and pouting like a little girl,
Yeah, he's definitely one of those guys that wears his emotions on his sleeves, and when it's not going well for him, man, it trickles down, and then it impacts his play on the court. Absolutely.
Yes, it does. So now, the way is on to Sunday to find out exactly where the Tigers end up. And so, if that is a great comment. Yeah. And so, let's, tail basketball. Yeah. And jump into the news of the week that Clemson is set to sue the ACC. So, this story was this story was wrote by Ross Dellinger at Yahoo, And the gist of it is that Clemson has formed a legal group, and they are, having to sue the ACC like FSU has to get out of the grant of rights. And so, this news should come as a shock.
I was going to say, tell us something we didn't already know, Ross.
Yeah, I was going to say, the fact that this news is coming out doesn't shock me. It doesn't shock Jason. And so, really, it's the next step. You have seen FSU go ahead and start the process. However, you knew that Clemson was going to join at some point. The fact that Clemson has kept things so quiet, I think is really what has caused the stir on this. However, if you listen to ground up talk, this is never going to happen out in the public or anything like that. It was always going to, be kept behind closed doors until Clemson was ready to pull the trigger. And the fact that this has leaked, can't make Neff happy.
I don't know, man. This stuff, to me, this stuff's already been out there. We already knew Clemson hired a legal team. We already knew they was planning on doing something. It's just a matter of when, not if. I mean, what was in this thing really wasn't earth shattering. It's already been circulating around, and there's not what Dellinger put out there the other day isn't really much different than what's been put out by some of the local guys. But this is something they've been working on behind the scenes for a while. People think just because they don't hear nothing, they don't see nothing, that Clemson's not doing nothing. Clemson's long ago hired lawyers and had them working on that on the grant of rights and a plan and that kind of thing. It's just
I think the news or the stuff is the fact that Clemson is officially supposedly moving forward with the suit. So
you got to file the suit first. That's always kind of been the question, how they go about doing it and when. And we still don't know the answers to those just yet, but we know it's coming at some point. Clemson wants to keep competing at the highest level. And, with this new playoff deal and these new television deals, you're just not going to be able to do that, with the status quo and remaining in the ACC.
Yeah, especially, after the 2026, if the playoff goes the way of the SEC and, Big Ten on, with them getting 3 automatic berths, that.
And about 60% of the money, which was approved yesterday.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah. So the ACC, has long, been dead, and yesterday, along with the upcoming vote to actually approve the 3-3-2 law, it's just going to further kill the league.
What have I been saying, man? If you don't win the ACC and you're hoping for an at-large bid, you're gonna be hard pressed, man. You better go 11-1, losing the ACC championship game to an unbeaten or a one-loss ACC team, and hope and pray, man. And you're still probably not gonna get in over a 2-loss. You might get left out for a 3-loss SEC team, man. That's just the way we're heading. I'm not a big fan of it. I've never was a big fan of expanding the playoff to begin with. And now we're starting to see why I wasn't a big fan of it, because you give an inch and they're going to take a mile. And that's what we're seeing play out here.
Well, hang on. Just a couple of weeks ago, you said that you don't care how many teams a league is in, because it's all about getting the best teams in.
Oh, I don't believe in any AQs. I don't want any AQs. None. But you're still going to end up with it's just the politics of it all. The politics. That's Florida State. It's the politics of it all. The ACC is going to get screwed in favor of the SEC or the Big Ten every single time.
Oh yeah, so they should though. And not to beat the dead horse, FSU had zero right to get in the playoffs last year. They just because you go undefeated doesn't mean you're worthy.
No, I wouldn't have voted Florida State as one of the 4 in last year either.
Yeah.
No. I'm just using that as an example.
That's
the way I see it playing out. The ACC is going to get their one AQ. The ACC champion is going to get it left in, and the Big 12 is going to get their one automatic qualifier. And then after that, you're going to have a group of 5 team most years, and you're going to be left with 9 spots. And I see most of those going to SEC and Big 10 teams, man. That's the way I see this thing playing out. It's going to become the SEC Big 10 Invitational, especially now that they are taking home 58, 59% of the revenue or whatever it is. More teams you get in, more revenue you get. I just hate the way this thing's headed. I hate the way it's headed.
Yeah.
They're already talking about expanding it again. We hadn't even got to 12 yet. They want to expand again already.
Yeah. So, honestly, I don't have any issue with the SEC or Big 10 getting their 3 or 6 or 9 spots, because when you look across the landscape of football, that is where the elite teams are in those conferences. So
I don't have a problem with the better teams getting the spots.
Yeah.
You start talking about 11-1 ACC team getting left out for a 9-3 SEC team. That's what I foresee happening. That's what's going to happen. Or a 4-loss SEC team getting in over a 2-loss ACC team. I don't think the disparity is that great. And to me, that is the road I see us traveling down. I I think they are looking to pretty much all but lock everybody else out but the SEC, Big Ten. We're headed for a Power 2. To me, this is all kind of moot anyways, because I think in 5 years, the playoffs going to be nothing but SEC and Big Ten, and everybody else is going to be playing in under a different model, different league, different whatever, different rules, because I think they're going to break off and do their own thing.
Yeah, trying to think how to phrase this. I hear what you're saying. Yeah. And like 11-1 ACC runner-up getting left out to a 3 or 4 loss SEC team. The issue I have is you have to look at their strength of schedule. I mean, like Louisville last year, had they finished the regular season, say 11 or 12 or 11-1, then they lost last year in the championship game. The ACC strength of schedule is such shit that how can you justify?
Then Clemson shouldn't have never got in none of them seasons if that's what we're talking about. That's what we're talking about. What's the ACC even participating for if they're going to be froze out because they're looked at as the inferior conference? Yeah, I can't get on board with that, man. No way. Everybody ought to have equal access. I understand case by case basis and strength of schedule and all that, but if we're going to start taking 3 and 4 loss SEC teams over 1 and 2 loss ACC teams and Big Ten teams, I think we're heading down a bad road, man. Because I'm not a big believer in the SEC being that much better than everybody else. Maybe at the top, but once you start trickling down, I don't think the differences are that vast. Sure, the SEC is the better football conference, but as we saw, the middle of the pack teams this year. You look at the bowl records, looking stuff. They weren't that far off. Clemson beat the middle of the pack SEC team, finished middle of the pack in the ACC. If you're gonna shut everybody else out just based on what conference they play in, man, the rest of the conferences ought to just tell them to kick rocks and go do their own thing. I mean, what's the point of even playing, man? If you know that you won't ever have a shot at playing for a national title because you are locked into a conference and which is just viewed vastly inferior. Even go back to 2016, man. I thought the ACC was the best conference in the country. You don't hear many people saying that. They kind of owned the SEC that year. I thought the ACC was better than the SEC in 2017. You don't ever hear nobody saying that. It's always the SEC's king and this, that, and the other. But I mean, I'm all for taking if you got 2 equal teams, taking it case by case basis and going down the metrics and stuff, man. But just to flat out say, the SEC's the ACC's the inferior conference, so the SEC should automatically get so many more teams in. No, I can't go down that road.
Jason's here for the Randy and the you're here for that matchup.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I want the Wake Vandy playoff matchup. I want the Rutgers and Rutgers and Iowa who can't score a freaking touchdown
Oh shit.
on each side, man. The winners play each other to take home all the gold.
Oh yeah. So I guess you kind of circling that here the news that Clemson has a legal team and is getting ready to sue the ACC is expected. It is nothing new. It is not any kind of huge news other than the fact that they are actually, there is now concrete, evidence or whatever you want to say that they are not sitting on their ass, twiddling their thumbs, letting the world pass them by, that they are actively, working on this. Like Jason and I have said for months and years, this is not something that, has snuck up on Clemson or has caught them off guard. This has, in the planning phases, and so just sit back and enjoy the ride because it is going to get crazy as hell.
Yeah, look, we already know Clemson can't leave after the 2024 season. They didn't file the paperwork in time. The leave after the 2025 season, that paperwork's got to be filed sometime this summer, if I'm remembering right. The key in this whole thing is the clause in the television deal where ESPN's got so long because none of these schools knew about this clause where ESPN had an out. They can get out of the television deal after, the 2027 season. And then the ACC stuck in this grant of rights with no television deal through 2036. Not sure how that works. But I think that option has to be exercised sometime I think in 2026 sometime. I'd have to look it up to get all the dates right. But, those are the key things here, ESPN and what they do with that option. And we'll see if Clemson does anything that would get them out of the league after the 2025 season, which would have to happen before this summer's over.
Yeah, and so, that is really, like you said, now we are just, talking about time and that stuff.
Yep. Like we've kind of said a few times before, it's not a matter of when. I mean, if, it's just a matter of when.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'll let you take this one.
I don't ever comment on shades. There is a pair floating around out there, though. There is a pair floating around out there. That doesn't mean, sometimes those things pop off quick. Sometimes they don't. I remember last summer I had one pair that stayed out there for about a month before they were rectified. So there's a pair floating around out there. I feel really good about one kid. I don't know that he's fixing to pop off in the next day or two or even the next week or two, but I 100% fully expect it's coming at some point.
Uh-huh. And so, yeah, Jason, yeah, has had tons and tons of recurring stuff on the side. So, yeah.
It's been a big recruiting week, man. Big one.
Yeah, I was gonna say, yeah, why don't you let everyone know what they can get around the site?
Yeah, just that, that Clemson's had several big time offensive line targets in this week. David Sanders has been there twice since Sunday. Mason Short was there yesterday. Josh Petty was there the day before. Zayari Addison was supposed to be there Tuesday, I think it was. Told me he had a family matter come up. He still plans to come for the big official visit weekend. But yeah, man, and that's a good sign that you get. I got a write up on all three of those guys up there today, and the visits and some intel I've got on it from somebody that I would consider in the know. Talked to Gideon Davison last night, Clemson running back commit who's been there all week, trying to help recruit some of these guys. Gonna write that up tonight. It'll be on the site in the morning. Still got several more guys I've talked to. I've got the right interviews up from junior day still. Caleb Lanier, Jordan Gidron, in-state wide receiver. Busy month or it's a busy time when Clemson gets back to spring practice, man. There's a lot of guys that rolled through, and this has probably been one of the bigger weeks, man, because you get David Sanders on campus twice in 1 week, man. That's a pretty dang good sign. Things are looking up as opposed to where they were 2 months ago.
Yeah, exactly. I think at their scrimmage on Saturday, they had just tons and tons of guys.
Six buses.
Yeah.
6 buses lined up outside Death Valley Saturday for those guys. So that gives you an idea of how many there were on hand.
Yeah, exactly. For those who thought that Clemson's recruiting has taken a step back, all you have to do is jump over to the site, take a look there, and you'll see that this staff is out there absolutely killing it.
100%, man. The hiring of Matt Luke has already paid off big time on the recruiting trail, man. Big time. I thought, I've said it a bunch of times. I thought Thomas Austin signed a pretty good group of offensive linemen in his first year as offensive line coach. Second year, man, they struggled mightily, and that's all it took. 1 year, man, and Dabo's making a replacement combined with the lackluster play on the field. But man, some of these guys that they're in for it, that they are in it for now, I don't think you're in it for with them if Thomas Austin's still around. End of the year last year, late December, it looks like Clemson's completely fallen out of favor with David Sanders. You're not even sure if you're going to get him on campus for the elite retreat. And Matt Luke's hiring has totally changed the complexion of that thing. I know Josh Petty, who's another 5-star in the 2025 class. I mean, he's never come out and outright told me this, but I feel extremely confident in saying if that hire's not made, you don't ever get Petty back on campus, period. And now he's telling me he's going to be here for the official visit weekend. I don't know if that's locked in, set in stone yet, but he told me that was his plan. So there's going to be several of those big-time offensive linemen there. That first weekend in June actually starts on May 31st. And I think most of those guys probably aren't there if that hire's not made.
Yeah, exactly. It's not even the O-line guys that he is having influence on. You see him out there talking to all their position group. So I think that, like you said, I look at his his history, his track record, his yeah, his yes,
Pedigree.
yeah, that's the word. Yeah, I think that has translated into not necessarily landing all these guys. However, you're getting guys on campus that you didn't have a chance with.
Yeah, you're not going to land all these guys. Make no mistake. Clemson's going to take 2, maybe 3 more in this class, and you're not going to get them all because you still got guys like Max Buchanan who plans on taking an official visit in the summer, can't get here this spring. Mal Waldrop, same thing. They live kind of far away. So you got several that you're recruiting, but you can't take them all. And not only that, it kind of changes the complexion of Clemson's offensive line recruiting moving forward. You got another kid, Leo Delaney, who's a high school teammate of David Sanders, who was here with Sanders yesterday. So you're starting to lay the foundation for those 2026 guys who you're going to start offering come June, late May, whenever they decide to do it this year. It's just, and like you said, it goes beyond the recruiting trail. Man, listen to those running backs talk the other day, Moffitt and Keith Adams, and them talking about the offensive line. Everybody that I've spoken to that has been at the scrimmage either yesterday or Saturday had high praise for the offensive line. Every recruit that I've spoken to that was there Saturday, high praise for the offensive line. Can't find one person to even say anything about them looking average, mediocre, hit or miss. It's all high praise. I think that bodes well for Clemson in all aspects moving forward.
Yeah, exactly. You're even getting these stories out there that the O-line are the first ones down the field to get a running back up off the ground. So like he said, there was not a huge chance to see exactly the impact that Luke could have on the line in the Gator. However, you're starting to see it now. Just I have heard, the term nasty, fast, fierce used to describe these guys. And honestly, it's not a knock on Austin. Those aren't, terms that you heard thrown around when he was there.
No, it wasn't. And this is an area where Clemson needs to be better in, from top to bottom along that offensive line, starting in the middle, work your way out. They got to be better than what they have been the past 2 seasons, past 3 seasons, whatever. Because when you start talking about offenses, man, it starts and stops up front. If you're not getting the protection, if you're not getting the blocking in the running game, you're going to have a hard time moving the ball. You're going to have a hard time picking up those chunk plays, and that's been particularly true for Clemson. And from my understanding, they've been doing that in spring practice so far, at least that during those scrimmages of people that I've talked to that were at. Bryant Wesco's getting a lot of praise, man. He's been picking up chunk yards in the past game, and I have heard really good things about both quarterbacks, Klubnik and Vizina.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. The team is actually on right now for the next week and a half. However, the all of the stuff I have heard, echoes what Jason saying, that the offense looks like what you expect from Gary Riley. It has, been dynamic. It has, been explosive. And that's something that honestly, has been missing. That is the reason that Riley was, brought in to replace Streeter. And so, if you're a Tiger fan, there is, a lot to be cautiously optimistic.
Yeah, I think you're right. And we're only 10 practices in. We're only 10 practices into the spring. They're not even going to really get good and dialed in to the fall. But you got to like the direction this thing's heading. What really stood out to me over the first, the first 10 practices was listening to, I think it was Wade Woodaz a couple, back last week, and he was talking about the offensive line, and it's not what he said. And I can't even remember what he was asked specifically now, but it was the look on his face. When he said, that Clemson kind of owned, the defense kind of owned the offensive line. He made it sound like Clemson kind of owned the offensive line in practice last year, and that's just not been the case this year, And we've heard the offense won today, last Saturday. How many times did we hear that last spring? Any? I don't know that we did. And by all accounts, they had another good day Saturday, and we all know that's a pretty good defense they're going up against every day in practice.
Yeah, yeah. To me, it's always hard, to take a lot from these scrimmages, because you always have guys that are out, and there is limited stuff. You're exactly right. This is the first time in years that I can recall, the linebackers and defensive guys actually saying, hey, the offense is causing us issues, which is exactly what you want to have happen.
Oh, yeah, it makes everybody better, man. It makes the offense better. Obviously it makes the offense better, but that's just going to make the defense that much better too. So, I think you termed it best a little while ago, cautious optimism. Nobody's saying this offense is back to, pre-DJ Uiagalelei days where they were, slinging it all around the field and picking up chunk yards about when they wanted to. But I think there's every reason to be cautiously optimistic at this point.
Yes, there is another team over at Clemson that has, the fans cautiously optimistic is the baseball team. So, they just finished up a injury suit of the Jazzers. However, this weekend is when you learn a lot about this team, and they travel to Durham to take on number 6 Duke. So, Jason, both of us have seen these Tigers a lot in person through the first 3 or 4 weeks. What are your thoughts heading into arguably one of the biggest matchups in college baseball this weekend?
Yeah, I can't wait for this weekend, man. Two of what looks like the best teams in the country, a top 10 matchup. Duke is just absolutely mashing. Seems like every time they swing the bat, the ball is flying out of the park. But it's not like this Clemson team hasn't been tested already. 2 wins over South Carolina. You've got you swept Xavier, who's got a win over LSU. Took 2 out of 3 from Kennesaw State, who took 2 out of 3 from Kentucky and beat their brakes off in both those wins. Even UNCG, who you swept last weekend, has beaten Wake Forest and North Carolina State. So it's not like Clemson's been beaten up on a bunch of scrub teams. For me, this weekend, I think they need to set the tone on Friday, man. I think Austin Gordon needs to have a good performance, keep the ball down in the zone, because if you don't, you're going to get in trouble real quick against this lineup. And he needs to have a quality start. You don't want to start eating that bullpen up on Friday night. But, yeah, this should be a really good series between 2 really good teams this weekend. There's not a weak spot in that Clemson lineup. Heck, you can go 11, 12 deep, man, and there's not a weak spot in that lineup. You got to pitch to everybody. It's hard to pitch around somebody because there's no weakness from top to bottom, it seems like.
Yeah, and Jared Purify is, doing exactly what I said he would. Your guy is on the sidelines nursing a, chef injury.
That's all right. Hey, Nolan Noraki still got the second highest batting average on the team, and I think he's third on the team in RBIs in about 4 or 5 less games. So, I got no qualms about how talented Purify is. That guy's going to be great. It's just a matter of him getting on the field. If he gets the opportunities, he's going to be really good. The only thing is, I don't know how much second base he played. He doesn't look like he's played a ton. He came up as a shortstop, and that's where I kind of see him fitting in the future. They just brought, a guy in to kind of bridge that gap to him, as he kind of matures a little bit. But at the plate, there ain't no doubt about who that guy is.
Yeah, and can we give a little love to Blake Wright? He has just continued to rake.
Yeah, he's hitting 304. He's and I'll say one thing about Blake Wright. He's not up there trying to pull the ball every time this year. I thought he did that a lot at times last year. And he's already got 5 home runs, 14 RBIs. But if you watch every day, you'll notice when he's hitting with guys on base, he's routinely trying to go the other way, move guys around, and it's paying off for him, man. It's paying off for him in a big way. He's using all 3 fields, and he's becoming a better hitter for it.
Yes, he is. So, yeah, just sitting here trying to think this weekend's game. Do you see the Tigers taking this series?
I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see how they play away from home. That's something they've only had to do one time so far, and that was a neutral site game, or a neutral site game in Columbia.
Mhm.
So I don't know. I could see them, maybe dropping 2 out of 3 this weekend. I don't see them getting swept or anything like that. I'd be very surprised if they get swept. I could see it going either way, losing 2 out of 3, taking 2 out of 3. Because I think this pitching staff's still kind of rounding into form. Austin Gordon's only made one Friday start. He's only went deep into a game once. That was last Friday. I think he threw 90-something pitches before that. I don't think he's thrown more than 40, if I'm remembering right. But I really like what Tristan Smith's done on Saturdays. I think he's been really good, even though the numbers don't always bear that out. I think he probably had his worst game last weekend where he gave up some leadoff walks, but he got the outs when he needed them. He's striking out a lot of guys. I think he's one of the top strikeout pitchers in the league right now. But it could come down to what happens on Sunday, man. A true freshman making his first start away from home, Aiden Canuck. His good's been really good. He's had a time or two where he's been a little bit up and down at certain points, but his good's been really good. That changeup is just, man, it is dynamite. It is a swing and a miss pitch. If he's got good stuff and he's on it with his command, I could see Clemson taking 2 out of 3, man.
Yeah, so they'll have to, swing their sticks this weekend as Duke is averaging 10 runs a game. So you're going to have to either, bring your A game on the mound or, swing a huge stick.
Yeah, and for a team that people thought was not going to hit a lot of home runs this year, Clemson, it's not one guy doing it. It's kind of spread out. Man, they've already hit 31 home runs in 16 games, so probably a little bit more pop in that lineup than maybe we envisioned going into the season. And Clemson's averaging over 8 runs a game themselves, so should be a really good series with two really good teams.
Yes, it should. Now it is. Let me see. Now it is time for kind of a serious note that we hate to do this stuff. However, if you enjoy the content that we are bringing to you on the site as well as YouTube, and if you own a business or know someone who does, would you please consider joining us as we need your help to continue to bring you the courage that you have come to expect. This is not a cheap venture, and the only way that we can continue is through the support from businesses. So if you know of anyone who would you know, that could join us in supporting us, feel free to reach out to Jason or myself, as we would like, you know, for all of you to join as a part of the team. So, Jason, as we wrap up, is there anything else that you feel like sharing? Hey, that I could.
I had to go pick my dad up this morning. I had to have him at the doctor at butt cracking dawn. 8 a.m. Get there, the doctor ain't even there. That's not even here nor there. I get back to his house, and my driver's license has his address on it. That's just so people understand why I'm getting mail at his house. But, he said there's something from the DMV for you in there. I open it up, man, and it's a letter talking about how I've been without insurance on my truck since January, and I owe like $500, and my license is about to be suspended, man. I'm sitting there, well, what the hell, man? What? I know we about to change insurance carriers, so I know something's wrong, man. But I think my wife's already got it straightened out, man, because I called her and wanted to know what the hell was going on. She said, oh, I was hoping you weren't going to find out about that. Well, I found out. But I think we got that straightened out, and it's not going to cost me anything. It was a State Farm error. So I'm telling you, man, it never ends. It never ends.
Yes, sir. Last week, he was driving to Clemson, had tire issues.
Driving up to Virginia in the windshield stopped. And then Friday, when I came out to go to the baseball game, my tire was halfway flat. I had to go buy 4 new tires. I turned them in. I turned the steering wheel. Notice on the inside they was just smoother than a baby's ass. So I just got them all 4 replaced. And
yeah. So look, if you see audio, you're asking.
Else. I can't remember what it was now. Oh man, I didn't think I was gonna get. I didn't think I was gonna get to do the show Monday night, man. It's my daughter's birthday, and I find out after I done set it up and everything that we going out to eat at my dad's house that night. I'm like, well, why couldn't you tell me that sooner? I'd have pushed it off a day and get over there. There's nowhere to do it because there's a ton of people there, and I think I finally got somewhere set up at like 7 o'clock on the dot, man. So I was running late doing that, and I was flustered coming on. So it's been one thing after another the past couple of weeks.
Yes, it has. And so, like I said, if you have any businesses or anything that can help us, keep doing this and help us get tires on Jason's car.
Help pay them off.
Yeah. Reach out to us, as we would love to have you join our team. And so I think that hits on everything.
I don't think there's anything left.
Yes, sir.
No meat left on that bone.
No, there isn't. So, be sure that you tune in Monday night at 7 o'clock for Jason and Monday Night Live. And we'll be back here Thursday at some time.
No, no, no.